Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a genuinely fleeting, incredibly lucrative opportunity that's opening up right now in the digital ad space. We're talking about capturing hyper high intent traffic on a brand new ad platform, and yeah, you guessed it, it's OpenAI. Now, if you're an entrepreneur or a media buyer, you already know timing is literally everything. And I'm telling you, the timing for this specific platform, it is never going to be better than it is today. So let's establish the stakes right out of the gate here. We are standing right at the precipice of a massive, massive shift in how people search for solutions online. And the fundamental law of digital advertising is always the same. Early adopters get disproportionately rewarded. When a new platform opens its doors, the ad inventory is huge, but the competition is basically zero. If you wait until it feels safe, until all your competitors are already doing it, you're going to pay a massive premium. I mean, historically, we've seen this exact cycle repeat like absolute clockwork. Think back to the early 2000s with Google Ads. Clicks were literally just a few cents. Then we saw the exact same pattern repeat in the 2010s with Facebook ads and again with YouTube ads in the 2020s. Every single time, the first movers built absolute empires way before the big brands even figured out how to log in. And today, that exact same window is wide open with OpenAI ads. Okay, before we get into the actual mechanics, let's do a quick reality check. This is not some magic money button, right? Nobody's buying a private island off their very first test campaign. What this actually represents is a genuinely new, incredibly powerful traffic source. And like all new traffic sources, it heavily rewards the folks who show up early with real offers, solid funnels, and legitimate businesses. If that sounds like you, the opportunity here is just staggering. Okay, Section 1. Inside OpenAI Aid Mechanics, building from scratch. Let's take a quick look under the hood at the manual setup of a live account. So the crucial thing to understand here is this nested system. Honestly, if you've ever run Facebook ads, this structure is going to feel pretty familiar. You start with the big bucket, your campaign, where you set your objective, like reach or clicks. Inside that, you've got your ad groups for targeting and budgets. And then inside those, your actual ads. Doing this manually, it requires a decent amount of tedious setup, clicking through clunky beta interfaces, and some serious media buying expertise to actually configure properly. Now, let's talk numbers, because setting your expectations is absolutely vital here. If you're hunting for bargain bin, low-quality traffic, this isn't your platform. Upfront, OpenAI clicks generally cost more than your standard Facebook click. But because every single impression runs through a real-time auction, you'll typically pay well under your maximum bid. So you might bid $5, but happily watch actual clicks come in at 2 or 3. And as we're going to see right now, those clicks, they are worth their weight in gold. Section 2. The power of intent. Why this traffic is different. Let's explore exactly why this specific moment of user intent matters more than almost anything else. Just look at the massive difference in buyer readiness here. On side A, you've got traditional social media. Your ad is essentially interrupting someone who is, let's be real, half asleep on the couch scrolling past their cousin's vacation photos. But look at side B. An OpenAI user is in deep research mode. They're actively comparing prices, they're asking for reviews, they're brainstorming how to solve a very specific problem. Your ad appears directly inside that conversation, right at the exact second they realize they need what you sell. It's huge. And because the user behavior is so completely different, the targeting has to be different too. This isn't just your standard keyword targeting. OpenAI uses something called context hints. Basically, you have to write a plain language description of the exact conversation where your offer actually makes sense. And here's the crazy catch. The system rewards depth. It accepts up to 10,000 characters. Writing out these massive, highly specific descriptions of your ideal customer's problems manually, it takes serious time and effort. So let's say you do it. You manually write out those massive context hints. You craft the perfect headline to speak to the researcher, upload an image, and submit it. And then you just wait. Your manual ad goes straight into a pending review state. The interface right now is pretty bare bones, and waiting around for approval can completely kill your momentum when you're just trying to test new offers quickly. But what if you never had to do any of that? Seriously, what if you could skip this entire manual grind? The nested campaigns, writing 10,000 character prompts, waiting for days in review. What if you could just capture all of this high intent traffic without that steep technical learning curve? Section 3. The Buildy automation tool, the inevitable evolution. I want to introduce you to a real game changer called Buildy. Buildy is the first tool designed to handle this entire setup, targeting, and publishing process for you entirely through natural conversation. Just look at everything this automates. Instead of wrestling with a clunky interface, you literally just talk to Buildy out loud in plain English. You state your goal, describe your ideal customer, and boom, the AI instantly points out what your customers are typing into OpenAI. It recommends your positioning, writes the optimized copy, generates high-contrast images so they actually pop, and builds out multiple ad groups to test different hooks. All of it is instantly saved in a paused draft state for you to review. Once Buildy has effortlessly done all that heavy lifting and generated those variations, you just need a starting point. $20 a day. That's it. That is the absolute perfect initial test budget for the multiple ad sets Buildy just built for you. It gives the system exactly enough data to see which of those AI-generated hooks is resonating the best with those high-intent researchers. But here is the real kicker: speed. Remember that manual campaign we talked about earlier, the one just sitting in that frustrating pending state? Well, the campaigns you generate through Buildy often bypass that bottleneck entirely. They get approved and start serving, while the manual campaigns are still just sitting there in review. The sheer speed advantage here is absolutely incredible. You get your business in front of active buyers almost instantly. Section 4. The hidden retargeting multiplier, the strategy nobody talks about. Let's get into the secret sauce. We aren't done yet, because there is a massive secondary benefit to capturing this traffic. Think about user behavior for a second. Someone clicks your super relevant OpenAI ad, they visit your site, but maybe they don't pull out their credit card on that exact first visit. That's totally normal. But if you have your Facebook pixel set up right, Meta instantly sees that highly qualified, intent-driven visitor and automatically retargets them. So they do their deep research on OpenAI, leave your site, and then later that evening while they're just casually scrolling Instagram, boom, your ad finds them again and closes the deal. Now, if you're sitting there worried about the technical headache of setting up that cross-platform tracking, don't be. Buildy handles the whole shebang. It automatically spreads your tracking pixel across your entire website. And even better, it creates and manages those meta retargeting campaigns through the exact same voice conversation you used to build the OpenAI ads in the first place. You're getting a highly advanced omnichannel retargeting setup without ever having to open Facebook's tedious ads manager. Which brings us to the next step. Head over to Build.ai right now, because there is a full 10-day trial waiting for you. If you want to effortlessly attract leads and capitalize on this gold rush, this is exactly how you do it. In those 10 days, you can build out your sales funnels, set up your lead generation, and launch this entire automated OpenAI and Meta ad ecosystem. It handles everything from one single simple conversation. The window for this first mover advantage is shrinking every single day, guys. The tech is here, the audience intent is at an absolute all-time high, and tools like Buildy have completely removed the technical barriers. So I'm going to leave you with this. Are you going to claim your spot and capture this high-intent traffic for pennies right now? Or are you going to wait and pay triple when everyone else finally catches on? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly recommend you start testing this today.